definitely seen worse odds for teams.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be a 2 alternate attacks. Keep your eye on Mirbit and Topa. Those are my picks. Speaking of him, he is getting hit by a smoke, as it's a quick A-site pop from alternate attacks, being very cautious. One smoke to block off the site, a pop flash to get in, and they're going to plant really safe. One smoke's all it takes. They don't have to invest double smoke. That allows them to get the molly for sandbags. That's really cool stuff from alternate attacks. You're going to stay bunched up on this wall. It gives you a bit of a different height on top of those steel beams, which means the pre-aim is going to be a little weird for Na'Vi Jr. Slacks, gets run over by Fit. Can Stefan hold on to this site? He's in a weird pivot position. His teammates are falling, and he can't land a shot. It's Mirbit alone. He has a nade for the plant. And it's 2 HP! He lived! That's kind of funny. And also, may I add, Scriv, I was going to mention this, but we ran out of time. Alternate Attacks only had a 36% win rate on pistol on this map. Out of 98 pistols played, they've won like 27. So, if there's one thing for them to improve on, it is pistols. But again, I can't essentially blame them. It is a little random.
Yeah, they always tend to be. And I think the thing is as well, when you're a bit more of an innovative team, particularly on a map like Vertigo, maybe that's where they try some of their newer stuff and it just doesn't quite work for them. You know, like Mirbit with that nade there. It's a very specific kind of pickup, right? It's smart, don't get me wrong, but it is definitely a situation where it's based on luck, as you see. In that case, he gets unlucky because the defuser survives on 2 HP. And B, it kind of needs a few more people to be surviving with him. So I feel like they theory craft quite a bit with their pistols because they're confident in their rifle rounds, right? And very confident in them here, as they will be moving towards the rifle round as early as possible. Now, this buy I quite like from Na'Vi Jr. It is somewhat risky, but I think they're reading into the situation really, really well. Happy to take the fights. Do need to be careful. There's a few deagles dotted in. If they don't lose anyone, it's actually a really good buy because you're able to comfortably have all these rifles, right? All 5 of them on rifles into the next round. And then the money that you get for winning this one, you can put towards your utility. Whereas it can be a little harder if you start with the SMGs and the utility. You have to look and you have to prioritize and think, okay, do we get like a refill on my utility that I've just used, or do I go for an M4 and no utility? Whereas cutting out the middleman, just going straight for the rifles, I think is kind of smart. It somewhat limits you in what you can do, but they play it well there, right? They're against the pistols, don't take too many risks, and they put a lot of pressure on ramp and actually take the fights, so that now, up against the rifle buy of alternate attacks, their buy is pretty good. Whereas in this situation, sometimes we would look across the CT side and go, ooh, they've got a scout and they've got 2 MP9s, a FAMAS and 1 M4. Like, their buy is way worse. But now, not on par, but pretty damn close.
Yeah, definitely better than what we've seen at times, isn't it? And a big talking point, I think, about this matchup is how A ramp is going to be controlled, right? Are alternate attacks going to continually get this for free with a couple flashes and 1 smoke towards short? Or is there going to be some investment from Na'Vi Jr. In the sense of outside of utility, or your body's going to commit to it? The foot of Krezi actually sticks through that smoke. He's got size 13 feet. They stick through with his clown shoes, I guess. I mean, not calling him a clown, but those are pretty big shoes. They're typically bigger than normal, Scriv. I had to recover there because that sounded mean at first. But Topa is just an absolute beast, locking it down towards short.
Certainly looking good from Na'Vi Jr. Testing them early on. I really do like this, and it's a very different approach. Great utility usage as well to take out Slacks there. Returned very well, but Topa's just an absolute beast over at Scaffold at the moment. Looking really good. Distractionary move coming in as well. And they only lose the 1 player. So a pretty flawless first rifle round from Na'Vi Jr. And like I say, having those rifles gives them a bit more confidence. And it doesn't limit them as much. When you have those SMGs particularly, you can't spam through walls. You can't take those long-range fights. Can't take extended fights. You have to be quick in and out and hope that you get the kill or survive, right? So it's really not as limiting when you've got the rifles in hand. So great choice to go straight in with the rifles in that second round.
Yeah, I like the way they're playing around a ramp, right? They're not necessarily throwing bodies at it from the ramp side. They're more doing it from short, which is unspammable, letting Topa kind of do his work and let him play around this scaffolding position in short really well. And he's going to have the op support from Gospodarov, which is kind of really cool. Honestly, I really admire the approach from Navi. Definitely, you can kind of tell, and I'm getting vibes of this really heavily, that they've watched an alternate attacks Vertigo game here or there. Alternate attacks are really deadly towards that A ramp. If they get free control of it, you're kind of in trouble. But Navi are playing this very slow-paced utility bleed them out on rifle round approach that I really appreciate right now. And I'm curious to see if alternate attacks are going to pick up on this. They've watched a couple of our demos, they know what we're doing, and if they're going to change up the pace, or they're going to try to start it to abuse B and mid that we've seen them do in the past. But as of right now, Navi have a decent approach.
All right, alternate attacks very early on, as we've said, getting tested. Some smart decisions here from the CT side have given them these 4 rounds in a row. We now look to alternate attacks, who are supposedly the maestros of this map, at least at this level, and see what kind of a response they have. So far, another ramp play, bit of spraying through the smoke from both sides. Trying to bait out as much utility as possible, I guess, on the T side of things. And very quickly, 30 seconds into the round, there's not much remaining here for the CTs. Meanwhile, on the opposite side of things, they've expended maybe a flash and a smoke by the looks of things. Not an awful lot at all. So, a lot of room to work with. And eventually, Na'Vi Jr. are just going to have to either fight or move away from ramp. A lot of damage coming in from Topa once again onto Stefan. Gospodarov going to join him here at the alleyway to help out. It is about to be a bloodbath here. Molly's coming in. Cressy holding patiently. Gospodarov still around. They're going to peek him. They are indeed. Flash comes in. He has to turn away, and there's a Molly blocking his exit. Beautiful stuff. Cressy takes down Topa. Andy pretty much steals the deal for the Molotov to find that frag. That is so well played. This is what we were expecting from alternate attacks. As Cressy comes in with a quick 3K, and I feel like despite the amount of cash that they have, these 2 remaining CTs are just going to have to back away and save.
Yeah,
beautiful stuff
so
from
cool.
the T side.
Yeah, that was really cool. They had a good read. They understood how Na'Vi Jr. were getting a little bit of advantage on them, and they punished them completely. Willingness to hunt on one player in Mirbit, but it'll end very quickly. And am I having a brain fart, Scriv, or is there a Russian player called Mirbit as well? I swear there was. He played on Vega Squadron, right? Or am I thinking just Mir?
I think that's just Mir, isn't it?
I swear he had Bit in his name at one point and then got rid of it. I could be losing my mind, though.
Maybe. I don't seem to remember that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I have the brain of, like, a senile old man, though. So, like, I could be making this up, too. It's a strong possibility.
I mean, yeah, maybe. I think you want him to be called Mirbit so that you can be right, but it definitely was just
I will go alter the Liquipedia doc with my edit perms. That way I'll be right. And here we go. 4-1. Ops still aplenty. Money from the CT side. Honestly still there, so they're kind of hanging out. How are Na'Vi Jr. going to approach it this time around? 3 bodies towards this ramp position. But again, not exactly willing to peek. They'll let Gospodarov take the first one, and there you have it. He'll find Skrunk. Try to get a little frisky with it towards that catwalk. You'll see a lot of T's kind of walk through that and try to take that 1v1. And it fails. No attempted refrag from alternate attacks. They're kind of doing a bit more of a spread default. So I think Skrunk was just kind of told, make a play at your own pace, and it gets punished right away. Now Na'Vi Jr., being a man up, Scriv, they're a little bit not so stringent with their rotates. You know, they're a little lackadaisical, willing to rotate around. And now they have numbers in favorable positions because they continue to have eyes on that A ramp.
Topa's been playing really well here. As well, you know, 9 kills, but also just the way that he's approaching rounds. So smart from him. Yeah, it's a great spot. And he just sees him coming. He's able to book it out of there, get into a safe spot, and he's got a teammate to watch his back as well. So really good stuff in terms of the information gathering when they already have a man advantage. 30 seconds left here. Topa playing aggressive, finding the frag onto Cressy. Does get traded back pretty quickly. Topa caught out in the open. Bit not around to help him in the end, and it will be back into a 3-on-3. Little chaotic to move into the side, but they do manage to get it done on the alternate attack side of things. Meanwhile, CTs kind of need to be recovering this one, and not a lot of utility to do so. Really going to be tough. 1K just playing nice and close. The one flash comes in. No one presenting themselves, though, until Slacks peaks. 1-for-1 trade, however, so it's not quite said and done just yet. The bomb planted for him for sure, and that second line in the form of Mirbit will be the second man to peek in. But no one on the bomb just yet. They're looking to try and take the fight. Zorncat coming in on a flank. Slacks is able to spin around, take him down, dip away from Carpaccio. Carpaccio taps onto the bomb and can't even find the head. Slacks with an incredible round as he gets the 3K. Nothing flashy, nothing massive. He just doesn't miss.
Oh, doesn't miss indeed, and that CT money we talked about is starting to come into effect. I don't know if alternate attacks are going to be ready for another buy, but then again, they know they saved once or twice here with a couple players, so they could expect it. But I really doubt they're not. I don't think they're going to be ready for Gospodarov's off. I don't think it's something they're going to consider. I don't think they're going to be prepared for it. And if he can work an opening pick, that'd be really cool. Would catch alternate attacks off guard, and Topa's going to go aggressive in ramp. You can see the change from alternate attacks here. They set the pace of a ramp control to be very prevalent. And the last couple rounds, they've kind of just hit that soft reset button and decided to work elsewhere. No one even lurking in mid. This is just straight up wanting to catch off the solo B player, because I know Na'Vi have been putting numbers towards A. Scriv. Carpaccio could be in trouble. Blind still swings around for the kill. He's trying to walk through the smoke, and he'll get punished, but the rotates are in from Na'Vi Jr. On Pillar is on Curry, and he's destined to fall, but Bit is not. Double headshot in, and all things considered, when the trades are said and done, alternate attacks yet to plant, but Slacks has got them covered.
Topa will need something insane here. The one thing is the bomb being out in no man's land. He gets the drop on the first. Oh, and the second as well. The spin around so fast from Topa. And all the effort, all the work he's been putting in culminates in a sick 1v2. Beautiful stuff from Topa. Absolute machine. Speaking of machines, I don't know, maybe that's a bit of a weak segue from me. But regardless, Hellcase, they're cool. They come in clutch with the cases, of course, our primary skin partner. Malta V 15, get yourself some extra cash and 15% refill bonus. So a lot being offered by them. There's a banner down below. Give it a click, give it a look if you haven't already. Slacks coming in with the opener immediately into this round, though, Keith. Solid stuff from alternate attacks, as they do indeed need to answer back pretty quickly after that clutch.
Yeah, it's that clutch is kind of one of those ones that stings for a while, because you just got bested by a wild MP9. Mirbit making a play towards mid. Damage dealt, but Capcho actually able to connect with that FAMAS. I thought definitely that player was going to be able to escape. Here comes alternate attacks, testing the B site once more. One player very far ahead from the utility. I don't know if they'll expect Stefan here, but he's going to let him know that he's around. And so low in HP are these Na'Vi Junior members. 22-1. And if they don't get a pick, like Topa may find, they probably wouldn't have gone for this. That's huge. Retakes on now, Scriv.
Oh, Slacks coming in, big 2K, looking for more. He can't get it done. It's all on Scrunk, but look how low they are. Surely the trade not fast enough. Carpaccio on 1 HP needs to be the luckiest son of a gun alive, and it's just not going to happen. Scrunk in with the clean pre-fire, and alternate attacks will indeed answer back with that third pretty quickly on the board. Hot on the heels, definitely a hot start from Na'Vi Jr. after the pistol and clean first rifle round. Some cool decisions. Alternate attacks, as predicted, once the full buy rounds have come into play. And they've been competitive, not quite as dominant as maybe we were expecting, and obviously those variables they can't control in the form of Topa, to be honest. However, quick break of the CT economy means they have to go for a force buy, and it should be a fourth for alternate attacks pretty simply on the board, and then probably an eco in the next actually from Na'Vi Jr. So a chance here for the T side to even things up.
Yeah, it's equalizing round time. Get up to 4. Na'Vi full invested here, which means they won't be able to buy in the next if this doesn't go their way, trying to build up that loss bonus. And alternate attacks have a really good read on this, that their money's broken, and if they force, they necessarily won't all have head armor. So these Mac 10s, not only looking to cash out, also because they didn't have enough money for AKs themselves, but looking to make some cash the next few rounds. Na'Vi not gonna want to let it happen. Bit doing a good job of dodging all these nades and utility. Gonna throw a counter smoke out of his own and hang on. Strong could be in trouble. He literally jumps over Bit and dies through the smoke from Topa. That is a comedy routine, unrehearsed. Stefan's gonna get this plant in. He has the AK. Cressy will cover. And this air retake, just look how damaged the Na'Vi Junior members are. Any kill at this point is a good kill for Na'Vi Junior, however. I don't know if this retake's going to be a reality, but if they can get one more kill, that's pretty cool. And yeah, they're just going to back up. They'll take the Mac 10 that they've taken away. They'll take the couple kills. That's not bad, because you're not only not feeding the SMG of Cressy, you're also giving yourself another chance next round, which would have been nothing. So, I'm a fan.
Yeah, definitely smart. And they still have the 2 SMGs in play here with the save Mac 10. So, chance to make some money. But alternate attacks, although a little dicey, still in control, just about. Pressure going to be back on. This is what we're talking about. This is why Na'Vi Jr. are looking kind of formidable, kind of scary at the moment. They are constantly making alternate attacks work for it. And sometimes alternate attacks lose it. So we'll see whether that trend continues, or this could be a mess. This could be very difficult to watch indeed. Topa, well-timed flash, beautiful stuff. Capacho swinging out. None of them are blind. 1 for 1 so far, and the AK's eventually coming out on top. Few low HP bars dipped in, and a lot of players, of course, in tow, but stacking on top of each other makes it easy for Mirbit. And they do that damage once again, keeping the economy modest for sure, but not quite as messy as it could have been, for sure. Regardless, coming into the next rifle round, Na'Vi Jr. looking really solid here on the M4s. Pretty decent buy, Keith. No kit, no AWP. Few question marks in that sense from myself. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, they're looking really good. So alternate attacks firmly in the driver's seat right now on their T side, and do have the potential to really start running away with things. Particularly if they pick up this one easily, it could be a really hard time for Na'Vi Jr. going into the latter stages of this first half. However, Bit aggression comes through. Love to see the confidence. They'll find the first kill off the back of it. Really good stuff.
Confidence is key. Bit will make sure he'll have his confidence for a while now with that opening pick onto Mirbit. Bancho, Molly in hand, will drop that down. Looks like the player trying to cross, and oh, they're greedy alternate attacks, but they're not punished for it. They'll take damage, but keep it a 4v4. That Molly from Stefan's gonna make these CTs a little awkward, and actually somehow gets eaten by the Molly. The flank is being held by Slacks. How's this timing gonna be on this one? Carey's still trying to push his way back in. And I think that might just be a save call. That Molly might just do it, Scriv. I mean, one player's bailing out. The rest are pushing forward. Topa eats a flash. Na'Vi Jr. all over the place, but all of a sudden now getting the kills. Flashes over the top on Carey one more. Stefan alone in a 1v4. He's getting tagged up. They're on the bomb. Can he find the diffuser? He can. And
oh my
there's no
God.
kit. What a mess.
That's crazy. That is crazy. He misses all the bullets, but the guy in front of him, I think we'll get to see it here on the replay, maybe. Yeah, Onkare had no bullets left. I guess he used his USP. He literally had no bullets. So he has his knife here, trying to go for it, and then the smoke dissipates at the perfect time. They trade him instantly, like, you know, straight after the kill, just
if I may add to that as well.
Burst.
Onkare was also blind from a team flash.
Damn.
So if he wasn't blind, maybe he gets that USB kill, but yeah.
Wild. Absolutely wild. Alternate attacks, a little lucky with it, I guess, to pick up the 6th and keep things rolling in their favor. Navi Jr. just about scraping a bye together into round number 12. Whether it keeps going, I don't know. I'm starting to worry for them slightly. Alternate attacks seem to have really found their mojo, as it were. Great flash coming in. Topa good for one. Gospodarov can't land the quick shot. Trying to get some bangers in. Not going to work for him. Another 1-for-1 trade. This generally works out for the T side, although with it being vertigo, I guess rotations are pretty damn quick. Gospodarov holding close, going contact. Oh, this could be big. He could catch him off guard. He does manage to get one. Able to get away as well. That's a huge frag. And suddenly opens the round up for Navi Jr.
Mirbit tried to run, but he can't hide from the op of Gostaprov. And I feel like I'm finally saying his name correct, Scriv. I'm pronouncing the Gospa and then Darov. I messed it up. Gospodarov. I nailed it. Amazing? Amazing, indeed. See, production, see, production does add a little bit of a flair on it there, Scriv. So you can't make fun of me for the flair I put on it, Gospodarov. See? My tongue just doesn't work like that, but that's fine. It's a buy from alternate attacks, no matter how I say the names. Mirbit's gonna continue to charge ahead, try to chase him down. Topa's Molly's a great support man, but that's the odds. Will it come into effect? Topa only with one. As the blood fest continues, Onkare will punish Cressy, and it just Slacks alone now. As I ramble away, it's a 1v3 for Slack. Doable, sure. But Onkare's going to make sure it won't happen. And Navi Jr. having one hell of a CT side against alternate attacks who have an over 80% win rate on nearly 40 maps. Actually, this is 40. Having a really good CT side because, in my opinion, still somewhat T-sided, as do maps for at least the first year in its life cycle. Has it been longer than a year, though?
Yeah. I think so. Been like a year and a half, I think. Maybe even longer, to be honest. You know, they took cash out and then they added this like instantly when this really wasn't ready, to be honest. You know, and then it's obviously been through a few different life cycles. Time flies, man. Time really does fly. You know, feels like yesterday they reworked Nuke. It was like 2016. So it just kind of highlights like how old Mirage, the current iteration of Mirage is. To be honest, you could ask a lot of people who play this game and they wouldn't know that Mirage had a version before the current one. You know what I mean? So, or like, I never played the old Mirage. So I feel like time definitely does fly, and particularly with map changes and all that kind of stuff, it feels like it's a lot more recent than it often is. So yeah, I'd say over a year at least, if not closer to 2. Either way, throwaway round there from alternate attacks. Navi Jr. taking the mathematical advantage, as we will indeed see a double up setup into the final round of the half from them. Gospodarov, I guess, as I've been getting it a bit wrong. Looking good on it. Topa, ever reliable, 1-for-1. Oh, nice flick coming in as well. Second maybe on the cards if he plays it right, but Stefan's crept in, and there is Slacks holding the angle. Beautiful stuff. Bait and switch. Bit is here pretty quickly. Maybe needs another here, or at the very least to stay alive and buy time for his teammate to come in. He's trying to creep through the smoke, and maybe just catches him staring at the floor. Not going to happen. Archer, meanwhile, on the flank. I think he might just have gotten away with this. It did look like Slacks gave him a look in. Yeah, but not quite well enough. Oh, just around the corner in time. Slacks has got a second opportunity to find this frag, and he will. Alternate attacks bring it as close as... Damn it, Keith. It is still a pretty damn good half from Na'Vi Jr. against the Vertigo machine that is alternate attacks. But all the same, still not out of the woods just yet.
Yeah, I'm impressed. And keep in mind, this is alternate attacks without a coach, as far as I'm aware. A coachless alternate attacks, while Na'Vi have one. And the odds have shifted a little bit. I think like 0.10 of a move.
Yeah, not massively.
But nothing too crazy. Still a lot of trust in alternate attacks. I'm going to pull up their CT side, actually, like statistics, Scriv. Again, they don't like winning pistols, which somehow they still win this map without winning either pistol. But let me pull up their CT side stats. Maybe it's a bit better than what I think it is.
Well, while you do that, the pistol gets underway. A lot of utility here from Na'Vi Jr. A fair amount of utility. A triple nade buy from alternate attacks. So we talked about their kind of innovation, as it were, in pistol rounds. It seems it's coming in again. Bit, you got to fake that one out, and then you got to be careful. Yeah, all the nades flying in. He's not on it, of course, but scrunk through the smoke. The first bullet takes him down. The bomb now in no man's land. This has thrown a real spanner in the works. Great flash coming through the smoke, but somehow maybe not able to find that frag. A USP secured. Thank you very much. There's Carpaccio. Gonna look for a few more here, but they're just not really presenting themselves. A man advantage, but he's looking so good on the pistols right now of both kinds. 3K coming in so far. Can he keep going? Looking for more, gets his hands onto the bomb. Brute forces his way back in for the plant. Secures the man advantage. I mean, Carpaccio is doing all right now. Stefan takes out Topa. Carpaccio's still alive, though, and he is hungry for this ace. Coming up, Ali. Going to try and catch them off guard. The tap onto the bomb comes in. He swings around with the jump. Oh, bit ill-advised. What the hell is that? Won't care, though. Is able to capitalize, and now it's all onto Stefan. 1v2. Tapping away. Hears him coming. Finds the first. And Carpaccio is low. This is not ideal, and Stefan could certainly get on the defuse and hold it. He just doesn't quite realize the advantage that he has. Going to go for another tap. Carpaccio peeking around and just playing ring around the rosy. Stefan needs to take him down on the reload. They're both so low. Stefan gets the frag, but there's no time. And Na'Vi Jr. will get the pistol once again, and Stefan even goes down to the bomb. So a pretty perfect round in the end, despite the shenanigans.
Yeah.
It is a good round from Na'Vi Jr.
Let me throw some ideas at you, Scriv. Let's have a thought exercise. Na'Vi win both pistols, which gives them 4 rounds. Right? So in theory, alternate attacks have won more rifle rounds, but the pistols have led to Na'Vi's lead. Alternate attacks win 60% of their CT side rounds. Doing quick math means it's probably gonna be like 15-14. That's my guess, Scriv. You can't time me out in chat, because guess what? It's a prediction and I'm on the mic. I win. Checkmate.
Checkmate. Maybe it's gone down here pretty fast. Might not expect him, and timed well. Could pull off a pretty big flank. Just messing around on ramp right now. Na'Vi Jr. Solid control of that area, kind of given to them by the CT side. Start to charge in off the back of the molly, through the molly ever so slightly. Actually, perfect timing to not get burned by that at all. Meanwhile, first frag comes in. Gospodarov for a few more. 5-on-4. Flash and the smoke is big, but no frags coming in. They're all going the way. And Mirbit on that flank is being watched by non-care. So, okay, looking good. Scrunk does come in with a double very quickly there. All in vain. Just for stats. It will be Na'Vi Jr. cleaning up the 10th.
And it should be 11. So, if we continue, redo my thought experiment, Na'Vi get 3 rounds per pistol. In the first half, they got 2. Here, they get 3. That's a freebie, quote-unquote freebie, 5 rounds. That's making all the difference. Some upgraded pistols for alternate attacks. Getting chased back to the site. And alternate attacks could be in some trouble here, Scriv. If Na'Vi take Vertigo? I mean, Dust, too. What do you, like, it is literally up for grabs. Which blows my mind how well Na'Vi Jr. have been playing. Clearly very well prepped. And have been practicing Vertigo quite a bit. And alternate attacks just yet to really get it going in the fragging department. It's been the Na'Vi show. Bomb gets tapped. Krezzy doesn't want to go through the smoke. Plenty of cover for the Na'Vi Junior boys. And alternate attacks. I don't even know if they want to feed these SMGs. I don't know if that's something they've considered. I think they just want to overwhelm and force as many rebuys as they can.
Kind of a solid idea, I think. If that's what they want to go for. Not going to knock them for it. But at the same time, like you say, don't want to give too much cash across. They realize they're up against an opponent who has indeed, like you say, all those great things you say about them, preparation and playing well. But they're still confident in their ability. So they don't want to needlessly give confidence and cash and all that kind of stuff away. Which I respect. I kind of like. Because it's also a respectful play in and of itself. Right? It's like, okay, we realize if we give you these chances, you're going to run away with them. So, making them kind of second guess themselves. Pretty good buy here from the CT side, in all honesty. As they look to move in for an 8th. No kits again, though. So confident in their initial abilities. A fast round coming in from the UMP here. October. Okay, with a double through the smoke. That's massive. Might just seal the deal off the back of it. Slacks will have to go huge. Rotations are coming in, of course, but so much work required from this AWP. Don't know whether he's capable. Crack angle. Going up high as well as the molly comes in. Oh, he drops at the very wrong moment. That is such a shame. But I think with all this utility, they're just going to look to save and concede the 12th.
Wow. Na'Vi looking good. You can't deny that. And carry with 2 frags without taking a single point of damage. And they really need to save all 3 weapons. Na'Vi, I'm surprised they're not hunting. They could throw 2-3 guns at this. Easily. But taking the more cautious approach, I can respect that. And I think it's safe to say the pressure has mounted. The kettle is boiling. My kettle whistles, by the way, Scriv. That's kind of common, but like it has a specialty kind of whistle in it, kind of like a train. It's kind of cool.
It's one that you put on the oven, isn't it?
Yep. Oh, yes. Yeah. Electric kettles. Yuck.
Like a thing, right? You guys don't have electric kettles out there as often. I suppose the thing is, it's like in the UK they are in literally every household, so you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
You're
regular
electric kettle family. Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, another first kill for Na'Vi. They seem to be a first kill kind of family. Screw. No electricity required for that one. Alternate attacks. Yes, they deal damage to the utility, but they're unable to just isolate a first kill. Maybe the spam back from Krezzy will land, but he's too is being a little cautious. And it's interesting that you didn't strike me as an electric kettle thing, fam. But I guess kettles on top of open flame are kind of old school, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, kind of. But it is literally like as commonplace as, you know, you buy a toaster, you buy maybe a microwave, you definitely have an oven.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and then you have it like toasters and kettles, man. Like they go hand in hand. When you move into a new place, or you just get one, unless you're maybe on your own. Like I probably still would because they're pretty convenient. Even though I don't drink a lot of tea, I don't drink a lot of coffee. But on the off chance that you need them, or well, the thing is as well though, like. Right, I'll hold the point because we're going to see some action coming in here. That is a missed shot from Slacks that's really cost them massively. And again, I think they might look to save here with Cressy being on 7 HP.
Yeah. The exact thought crossed my mind.
It's really, really not going well, is it? Na'Vi Junior have got their number at the moment. And I think a lot of this comes down to, you know, perhaps some aggressive plays. That's so awkward. Orncare crept through. Drops Cressy. Maybe it will trade him, but they could have survived with 3 and maybe had a buy into the next round. Now they're left in this awkward spot of what do we do? Slacks is hitting the shots. Oh no, it's maybe hitting the shots on the exit. Never mind. He retrieves the AWP. He's looking a little better. Slacks missing a few. Don't want to point any fingers, but certainly not performing under the pressure at the moment. and it is costing them. I'd just like to see alternate attacks playing more passively, honestly. It is a little crazy. Look, to go back to the kettle thing, they boil water faster than like a hob.
Yes.
So I find it wildly convenient to you know, if I ever need hot water for anything, rice or pasta or I don't know, potato, you know, whatever you're doing.
Okay, so you
just
cheat.
boil the kettle.
Okay.
Yeah, well, yeah, it is cheating.
It
but
is,
like,
it's
you
a
know,
little cheating,
time
yeah.
is money, dude.
That's
like,
true. That's very true.
And then you also have the advent of things like pot noodle. Right?
Okay.
You ever had a pot noodle?
It's like yeah.
And that is literally like
They're better uncooked, but that's fine.
You you put a bit of you put a bit of water in a kettle, and then you just you're done in like a minute.
I have done that. I'll admit.
Yeah.
I have cheated like that a little bit, but
right.
Yeah. Maybe I need to work on my kettle game. Alternate attacks need to work on their vertigo game a little bit.
100%.
I mean,
100%.
I can't say that with straight face. Having an over an 80% win rate on any map is absurd. They're just getting out aimed right now by Na'Vi on this T side, right? Like opening picks have been given up plenty to Na'Vi. Control towards A ramp has been relatively easy for Na'Vi to acquire. Then they kind of just waltz onto the A site. We've never really seen Na'Vi pressure B that much. We haven't seen them really take any mid fights. Like last round was one of the first rounds we've seen a mid lurk. So Na'Vi now starting to diversify their portfolio a bit, spreading out across the map in more of a passive default hold. And what they're doing this for is to try to bait out some utility from alternate attacks. But what they're missing the mark on is alternate attacks are really good at holding onto their utility until pressured into it. So now that they see Na'Vi using some utility, they'll feel a bit more comfortable in using some of their own. And there it comes, right on cue.
Yeah, this I prefer so much more from alternate attacks. Give them the room, play it passive, hold on to your utility, and maybe rely on a decent setup. Or a late take like this, right? Yeah, catch them off guard. You've split them up with the molly. Some of them have dropped back. Topa tries to push forward because he's nice and confident with his 19 frags. And sure, Cressy's left low, but now you're the ones with the advantage. For the first time in what feels like forever, they have an advantage. And there's only 40 seconds left with that frag. Now only 30 before Na'Vi Jr. start to move forwards and have come up with a game plan to try and answer back. They're also lacking in utility. Meanwhile, you've got Mirbit, who's the utility mule at the moment, on his way from the B-bomb site, who can certainly help out with what may be a retake. It might not. Skrunk. Hello? Hello?
What? Where are the bullets
What
going?
is that?
What?
What? I'm right.
Hello?
I'm getting Gabe on the phone. I am getting Gabe on the phone. Jesus.
Your
that
game
is
sucks.
That is wild. That is wild. They get the frag because Skrunk has no idea that he is so very obvious.
He has
there.
no idea.
Okay, we'll hold it because it's on the retake. Cressy and Slack's looking good. The trade's coming in from the T side though, so one untraded frag here is going to be really big, and there it is, on pairing with the untraded, finds the double at the end, and Na'Vi Jr. do it again.
I think they missed their smoke. I think the idea of that smoke is kind of like to cut all of ramp off, and I don't know if you exactly want to throw that exact one that typically gives your site player somewhat of a quote-unquote one-way, but when you have to push off of site and fight that ramp player, it gives him a one-way. So probably not the best thing to give to him. By the way, I don't know how Skrunk didn't know he was getting shot at, maybe because the bullets weren't like close. Absurd. We just witnessed that box is bigger than life.
Yeah, that was mad. I don't know what was going on there. I thought as well, like his backpack was kind of sticking out. It was definitely
that doesn't have hitboxes
weird.
Though, as far as I
yeah,
know.
I guess, right? But it certainly seems a bit misleading in a situation like that. Anyway, we've had a nice opening frag coming in here. Cressy's pushed in and he gets taken down. Maybe needed to at least go 1-for-1. Not even a big trade-off of information. Oh, and Slack swinging out on his own. They definitely seem to be a bit tilted here. I think part of your issue, if you're alternate attacks, and maybe this is why they have lost certain games against teams that, you know, like Level Up, like Apex, that they definitely shouldn't be losing against. Maybe part of the issue is like, come on guys, we've got an 80% win rate. This is our map. We are this map. Tier 2 Counter-Strike, Vertigo, we're the kings. But then you lose a few and you're like, god damn it, and they just start, you know, getting annoyed at themselves, making questionable plays. The likes of Cressy on 8 HP, who's been playing 8 kills, sorry, who's been playing so well consistently, like massively consistently towards the top end. He's 1 or 2 usually. So this is a big rarity. And I think a lot of this might actually just be mental. Like, obviously, Na'Vi Jr. doing the prep and looking good, cool. But if you're going to play into the map, if you're going to leave it open and not ban it away, then you've got to have the confidence. But they just seem to be missing their shots a little and going for these questionable swings. Now, we have had Scrunk come in with 2. He gets traded back. Looks a lot more doable now, but we've got a flank from Orncare. This is pretty big. It is being watched, but MP9 can't take him down. Gospodaridov coming in on the side here. Ooh, Merbit, though, gets the timing on Orncare. However, not ready for the scope up close. 15th secured by Na'Vi Jr. A little dicey, a little closer there, considering they had the 2-man advantage. But all the same, 15th hit, and they've got 8 to play with. This is somewhat wild. Somewhat wild.
Yeah, wild is definitely a fair word to use. Alternate attacks, typically, statistically speaking, the CT side's the better side, but they've just not been able to crack open Na'Vi Jr. No opening picks that they thought maybe they'd be having. Their trading from alternate attacks seems a little off pace. Utility usage also, perhaps not as tasteful as we're used to seeing from them. It's been Na'Vi Jr. kind of just mopping them up. From winning the duels to post plants to retakes. See, their CT side to their T side, it's been just Na'Vi through and through. Clearly, using an electric kettle to get this game over with as quick as they can.
Cheating.
Yes, in my own words. Yeah, exactly. Bit.
That's a joke.
Mid.
That is a
It
joke.
is a joke. Yes, please don't take that serious. And good trades all in all for Na'Vi right now. Jokes aside, Gospodarov does have the cover. Skrunk's flank actually is really well timed, but he pulls the trigger on the first, gives time for repositioning. He drops his gun. Where is it? Bit alone.
What is happening? These past few rounds have been crazy. They have been absolutely mental. Bit gonna get caught, shot in the side of the head. 8th round in for alternate attacks. They can do it. They do finally put a stop to the tear that Na'Vi Jr. have been on. Perhaps too little too late. 7 more in a row required by the Germans. And of course, money available for Na'Vi Jr. not only for this round, but probably into the next. Definitely if they get a bomb plant, they should be able to spread the wealth about. So looking at a 15-10 scoreline before that economy gets broken. Even then, it's always wild, right? Lost bonus, bomb plants, lost bonus, bomb plants. Could allow Na'Vi Jr. to just thump their head against this wall, keep on going for it. Gospodaridov perhaps missing the chance ever so slightly. Skrunk has snuck in. They seem to be somewhat savvy that he's here. The nade goes through, somehow only does 30 damage to him. I feel like that was right underneath him. There it is, the double nade coming back in from the CT side. Successful. Nice find coming through. 5 on 4. So, alternate attack somewhat revitalized here towards the end, which is always important. Going into a map like Dust 2, you want to be sure of yourself. Especially with the diciness you had on it yesterday and how good Na'Vi Jr. are looking here. Slack's coming in with another. Skrunk going to clear out ramp. No one here. 5 versus 3, and surely they've gone B. That's what that information gives them. So, alternate attacks in full control of round number 24.
Yeah, it's been a while since we said alternate attacks in full control in the same sentence. But it's good to finally be able to do so. Skrunk, lucky to be alive. The op was just about to post up and hold this. Carry has to be careful. You'll hear the weapon switch. The nade actually hits Skrunk. I think that's what that sound was. The Skrunk escapes, has bomb control, but gets caught looking. And all of a sudden it's on Carry alone in a 1v4. Honestly, he's gotten out every single bit of utility from alternate attacks. I believe Na'Vi Jr. should have 2-round loss bonus, so they're probably buying next on Carry. If he lives, that'd be pretty cool. And alternate attacks keep 3 alive, so a little bit of a mutual giving out of this round. Let it just slip by. Alternate attacks get to 9. But Na'Vi Jr., as we said, already kind of secured clearly OT and sitting a bit comfortable. I think there might have been a pause call. No, I'm hearing things. But Bit and Cabacho probably discussing if they want to drop it up to Gospodarov. They could. Instead, it's a Galil. So it'd be 3 AKs, Galil, Mac 10. Not the worst buy ever.
Yeah, I mean, not the worst. But definitely not ideal. But they're just trying to keep Alternate attacks away from, of course, mounting the comeback train, and once they break the bank, alternate attacks will feel more comfortable. First pickup coming in for Cressy, though. Great utility usage here. Definitely solid, right? They do have it, as you can see, in the back pocket, and once they start getting the cash and the confidence and all that good stuff, they certainly seem to be capable, as you would expect a team so good at this map. It just seems it comes a little late, and I think they are kind of shaken early on in this second half. Effort, nice shot. Looking for more. Molly coming in to push him away, but he's got a smoke. They're able to get away safely in a 5-on-2. Looking good for alternate attacks. Take this one over the line, and they might just indeed have themselves a chance at the comeback. Should be an eco, maybe a half buy from Na'Vi Jr. in the next. No bomb plant here, so I feel like a full eco and, you know, P250s and Deagles dotted about, but nothing too much. So yeah, probably going to be 15-11 scoreline. Definitely getting a little dicey. A little hot under the collar.
Yeah, the CT cash isn't quite stable, so if they can keep 5 alive, that's going to help them so much in their run back to overtime. Halted for now in mid. Stroke's going to come peek, and he'll line them both up. I'm not sure. Oh, it's because it was a team kill. That's sad. You never want some of that. So finally, 10 rounds for alternate attacks. They've made it to the double-digit club. On top of that, no matter who dies, they'll have buys for the rest of this half. They're okay. They'll share the wealth. Na'Vi Jr., on the other hand, gonna have to take a save. So that's gonna get alternate attacks up to 11. Again, not gonna get excited till 14. That's my baseline.
Okay, dude. That's fair.
And I did save 16-14, which kind of makes me nervous now.
Yeah, hard eco here, which is great. Love this from Na'Vi Jr. A lot of respect being shown, not taking any risks, really understand the position that they're in, and their work that they've done paying off. Nice little overwhelm. Any damage is good damage for sure, so, you know, dropping a rifle is great. But nothing more than that in the end. Let's see a bit of a replay here for Cressy. Eco frags, thanks very much. Lovely stuff. But now kind of getting into the nitty gritty. Do or die is looking solid right now. Krieg for Topa. Interesting. See what he's got planned for that. But a bit of a slower start coming into this round. It is certainly one of those situations where nobody wants to be the player to make the mistake. It will end up being incredibly costly if you do. But yeah, very slow here, Leaf.
Yeah, no one wants to make that mistake. Mid control from Na'Vi Jr. A bit of a newer approach. Cressy through the fire, down to 75. I think they're going to push through into CT. They'll get there when the molly fades. The re-molly from Cressy. No damage on the Bit, so Bit snuck through beautifully. Does he get timinged? He does. Cressy comes back around in beautiful timing on Care. May get cleared here. Stefan's holding down the B hit. All the while on Care really has to pop off. The bomb is down. Mirbit doesn't get the call that Ankur is close, and that's 2 for him. With Stefan and Strunk low, and just like that, it's a 2v2. Capacho's coming back to clear the flank right when Strunk disappears. This round's giving me butterflies.
Imagine how the players feel. Hearts beating out their chest at the moment. Strunk particularly does not want to miss that one, and he doesn't. Might even get the second here. Ooh, just dotted in. Nice shoulder peek as well. Jig is up. Capacho going to look to go for the bomb plant. Should be doable for him, but he's kind of wasting time, and you can see why. 9 seconds left. Slack's just going to wait patiently. Bomb plant coming in. He'll look to close the gap, and Capacho is kind of ready for him, but Slack's playing it patiently. 1 second left. That's the round. Slacks does go down, so it's massively costly, but alternate attacks They will hang on for another round, and they're not too fussed from the cash department. 3 more to go.
It can happen. Is that 1 AK? And that's it for Navi Jr. 13 should be secure unless these Eagles can work an opening pick. Capacho almost jumping off. Nearly. The head of Topa gets removed all the while. Navi Jr. being iced out utility-wise as well as weaponry. Just getting the short end of the stick this round, but it should be expected. Alternate attacks definitely making this one close. Navi will have 2 more buy rounds if the pattern continues. So if we go all the way to OT, 2 more buy rounds for Navi are secured. Or, I mean, 1 more, but I'm stretching it to 2. And Skunk with easy spray down. So yeah, they'll buy here. And then, obviously, the force buy. I never said it would be a full buy, but I said it would be 2 buys if required. Alternate attacks still continue to rein in that cash flow utility, of course. Everything they need. Only 1 AK, though. They're probably sad about that. Gospodarov will have the op-out Scriv. Utility for the rest. Navi Jr. looking to put this one to bed before it gets a little out of hand.
Yeah, really need to. Starting to become a bit more of a reality, but Gospodarov opening up. Skrunk coming in with 1, not good enough. Needed a few more. Navi Jr. a bit faster this time around, a bit more aggressive, able to shut things down and gain themselves a 4v3. They're looking good. Black's pretty solid on the AWP. Stood, posted, ready, waiting. Needs to pop off. He's got 20 frags, but he's not had too many slacks-like rounds. At least on the CT side just yet. Coming into him, though. This could be the one. Manages to find the third. The second escapes him. Capacho is traded back, and Stefan able to stay alive. That's pretty massive. 2 versus 2 as the flank coming in from Merbit. Could be huge. A lot harder to watch for the flank when there's only 2 of you. You can't really dedicate a man to it. Gospodarov kind of aware, but kind of not. He's a bit too late. Merbit takes him down, and he's already up ramp. Gospodarov not really giving him enough respect there, and Bit going to be in the 1 versus 2 to essentially keep their dreams alive. Overtime looking more and more likely, particularly if they're able to clutch this one out. Slow but sure, moving in. Bit has crept back around. Might be able to get the drop on Merbit. Timing going to be everything. Merbit running in, makes it round the corner in time. That is such a shame. Smoke going to be down on the bomb in just a second. They're not expecting him on the back end. He lines up for 1. Got to get the reload off. Stefan, there's a smoke down for him. He's just going to go for it. The Hail Mary, but Bit finds it through the smoke. 16-13 as Navi Jr. take Vertigo over the line. That's insane. That is mental. It takes them a long time to clean things up. Could have been a different story if the Germans started on the CT side. But when you considered one of the best teams in this level of Counter-Strike on Vertigo, you really do need to be besting a team like Navi Jr., in all honesty. So some big question marks there.
I think they have like 40 team ranks on them or something silly in the rankings. So definitely not going to feel too good for alternate attacks. Yeah, it happens. You lose maps here and there. But you're so far into this event that you can't afford to drop a map at this time. Sure, if it's your opening best of 1 or in 1 best of 3 early on, I could see it. But now, yeah, you just simply can't. Navi getting a lot of rounds on their CT side, winning both pistols, which secured 5 freebie rounds. Keep that in mind. So if alternate attacks can win 1 pistol, Scriv, I think alternate attacks win that map. So definitely some work to be done for alternate attacks. Navi, good on them for winning the opening duels and the trade frags and playing really cohesive across the board. I'm really impressed. And now we're jumping into Dust 2, a map where both teams are warmed up. Should be equally as spicy. So when we come back, let's get down and dusty with it. welcome back, Malta Vibes, brought to you by Gaming Malta, the home not only of gaming excellence, but also of Malta Vibes so far. So good. We're rocking through, what is this, Cup 4? 5?
5.
5. Wow.
And he showed 4 fingers.
We've been through that many already? Well, yeah, this, because the thumb isn't a finger. Did you know that?
Hold on.
Yeah. You didn't, so you have to.
5.
Yeah, that's way better. Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, that's awesome. Map 2, believe it or not, if I told you, Scriv, you didn't watch the first map, you just tuned in, and you're like, okay, cool, Alternate Attacks Navi, cool, Vertigo's first map, all right, so it should be 1-0 for Alter. No, I'm sorry, I'm disappointing you. Navi took the first map to Vertigo, which they bested them, who had an 80% win rate did Alternate Attacks. Navi add to their total now, so their win rate will go up. And now we move to Dust 2, which arguably, honestly, probably the best map for Navi Jr.
Yeah, definitely. And this is what we talked about at the top of the show. There were some issues here yesterday. Alternate Attacks did manage to get it against Blue Jays. I would argue Navi Jr. better side than Blue Jays. Not by a long shot, not by a terrible amount, but definitely I think in terms of like preparation and getting ready for an individual matchup, they're definitely going to have done a lot more of that. And it shows on the first map. It is hard fought in the end, but they managed to get it, and it was Alternate Attacks on the comeback throughout the entirety of that second half. And yeah, so I think with all those things combined, going into Dust 2, we have vulnerabilities from yesterday. We have vulnerabilities from today just on the team in general. Also, the mental. It was like towards the end, Alternate Attacks looked a lot cleaner. They did look a lot better, but we had the likes of Slacks and Skrunk and Cressy particularly going for these wide swings, these aggressive pushes, just trying to work on their own on that CT side to begin with and not giving enough respect across to Navi Jr. and also getting a little, I think, tilted, right? And then they had a bit of a moment where they were like, okay, hold on, whoa, this is actually doable. We're getting some rounds here. We're building some cash. Let's play Vertigo how we know how to play it. And I think if they'd approached the second half with that kind of attitude from the get-go, they may well have been able to snatch it away. But it just took them a little too long to get into that mindset, I think.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Slacks, I feel like he wasn't given a lot of chances on the op, on the T side. I mean, even when he had it, he never really found that opening pick for the squad. It was kind of just the Navi show when it came to first picks on T and CT side. I felt like the op of Slacks really would have dialed it in a bit more on the CT side, but he seemed a little off kilter. And maybe that was just the pace Navi were playing that kind of caught him off guard. But either way, on carry, 31 kills, 10 more than the Opera of Alternate Attacks. That KD ratio kind of speaks for itself. That was in regulation, not even OT. Granted, it was a long game. But now Dust 2, I think Slacks really needs to get into it, get into the jive of things, because if you don't, if your oppers are sleeping on Dust 2 and the other team's op is awake and connecting those shots, it makes defaulting, taking map control, fighting for that map control across the map, right? It puts more precedent on good utility usage and swinging together, but it makes it so much easier if your op can actually work to the map and get a pick and shut down habits. So a lot of pressure, in my opinion, on the Alternate Attack side, less so for the Navi boys.
Definitely does look to be the case. So we're going to have to see how Alternate Attacks bounce back here.
Yeah, we're waiting for one boy in the server. Everyone point and laugh at Navi. Imagine not having all 5 in after 10 minutes. Imagine.
Oh, he's there. I don't know what you're talking about.
Right. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
Delete the clip. Can we delete the VOD maybe, or just delete this set? Actually, play copyrighted music. Let's get this part muted. That'd be cool. But yeah, knife's about to happen. They've all readied up. Again, Dust 2, to reiterate, because we said this a lot, a map that's more team oriented to what side you want to start on. Statistically, this level, still my opinion, T-sided, but can be CT-sided at the higher echelons, etc. I feel like a broken record, but you never know. It's always cool to go through the paces and talk about it all. I think Alternate Attacks are probably want to continue their CT side. I think they started to find the groove. Their M4s were clicking, and I think if I'm them, I want to start CT side. I'd like to chase after 6-7 rounds, jump over that T side and have a bit more ease and a bit more relaxation going into it. We'll see if they're thinking. I'm going to guess they stay, though. That is my gut feeling.
sense, I think. But definitely thinking about it. Should be moving into the action here, and all those clicks coming in. I am actually really excited to see how this one goes. I think Na'Vi Jr. have got a real good chance. If they can get off to that explosive start once again, it could be hard for alternate attacks. As we said, you know, to bounce back and whatnot. Of course, shout out to LootBet. Got the banners down below, by the way, for 10 free spins, 100 bonus euros on your first deposit. But they seem to still be edging with alternate attacks. So, statistically, logically, I would definitely agree. But I think in the matchup itself, Na'Vi Jr. might be in their heads. Might be in their heads. Might be in their heads rent-free as well. You never know. Getting up short, aggression coming in, not really paying off, I guess, information and whatnot for the C side, but the pistols of the T side looking so solid here. Mirbit does manage to take down Orncare, staying alive here. However, missing his shots, yeah, and eventually the flank comes in from long, dropping him 4 versus 2, just like that. Na'Vi Jr. At the very least, they've got clean pistols, particularly this man. But I believe, yeah, he is the raid boss P250 right now, Gospodarov. Really good stuff. Definitely the only one left, and even escaping looks difficult. Oh, he's dead. Goodbye. See you later. Thanks for playing. And that'll be the pistol going the way of Na'Vi Jr. pretty cleanly too.
These guys have been, and I don't know if this is an issue for alternate attacks. I haven't necessarily watched too much, but based on their vertigo statistics of pistol rounds, I feel like they struggle with pistol rounds on a lot of maps. And I know pistol rounds can be random, but at some point you really have to put some time into it if you're alternate attacks, because now you're giving up, because you force CT and T side after you lose pistol, you're giving up essentially 3 rounds, which in vertigo made the difference to allow Na'Vi to win. And maybe it'll come into a factor here in Dust 2. So I hope alternate attacks clean up their pistols and start to work on it. I could be talking nonsense, but based on what we've seen so far, it's been Na'Vi very consistently, and really for most of the time with ease, taking these pistol rounds. So hopefully it's something alternate attacks will look into in the future. But the 4 spies with Deagles could always wreak some havoc. Na'Vi, all Galils and then a couple AKs. I really dig this buy, especially on Dust 2. With how many players stayed alive, they just all had cash, and it makes me happy that Galil is surfacing as it is.
Minute gone in the round, and not an awful lot of action here across the board. We'll start to group up, hit short by the looks of things. There's an entire squad, actually. The whole team moving in from short. So I guess coming through from a choke point, a little bit of a positional advantage for alternate attacks. They don't have to dedicate too much towards long. They have 2 players ready and waiting, stacked on top of each other, actually. Dribble smokes will come in. Slow rotation from Stefan. This could be a bloodbath if they're not careful on the T side of things. Great utility usage, though, keeping them at bay, doing a lot of damage, pushing them towards you. Awkward fight for Mirbit. He's left on 12 HP as well. He really can't go anywhere but above the smoke. Takes off the head of Topa. They don't realize how close he is, and he will capitalize. 2 quick shots coming in. 5 versus 2, just like that. How has it fallen apart so quickly? Alternate attacks, incredibly strong force buy, and the Na'Vi Junior boys will just have to concede the round. No time to do anything. Goodness gracious me.
Alrighty, that's a bit of a different look than what we're used to seeing, isn't it? The source buy working out. Making Na'Vi sweat early is always a good look. AKs, upgraded pistols, 1 smoke. And where do Na'Vi go with this singular smoke, right? You're somewhat limited in what you could do. And And it seems like Navi are going to like this mid-split, looking like it. The smoke from Onkara not going to get tossed yet, but I think it's going to be thrown towards CT. He's going to line that up right now, and they're just going to try to split B. Honestly, might work. Alternate attacks, no one in CT. They're not going to be pressured. These B players, this is their test.
Oh, spam down. Absolutely destroyed by the hero AK. Quick frag coming in from Topa as well. Wow, the B players, their test, they have failed miserably. And now it's alternate attacks who will have to go for the weird save scenario. Back and forth at the beginning. Generally speaking, the Force Fight Wars, it's the T side that tend to come out on top just because the CT economy can't keep up. But if they're able to save 2 or 3 players consistently, then they may well be able to keep up. All the same, Na'Vi Jr. going to snatch their lead back. And hoping this time they can convert it a bit cleaner. We'll see. Is he going to be able to survive? No. Gets traded after 1. You need to be careful on the T side not to drop too many players, honestly. But second round on the board. 4 surviving. Pretty good stuff. Both teams struggling against the Force Buys, though. That's for sure.
This game's gonna deliver, isn't it, Screw? Check off the Force Buy wins, check off B crunches, check off mad aggression. It's gonna happen. This game's gonna have all of it. And Na'Vi immediately settle right back down, understanding that alternate attack saved, and are more than likely buying up around those guns once more. And they are very so correct. Very so correct. They're right. I don't know why I said very so. Don't even know if that sounds decent, Scriv.
Words.
Yeah.
You know?
When in doubt, just ramble. That's my motto.
Words to live by, to be fair. I can definitely attest to that. Never know what kind of a sticky situation it might get you out of. That silver tongue of yours. Either way, execute coming in. Downtime is over in this round. 35 seconds. Na'Vi Jr. moving in. Mirbit, though, on the edge of these smokes, beautifully done, is able to drop it, and he has no idea where he's just died from. Gospodov over the top of the smoke, though, looking crisp. Bomb goes down, 4v4. And this is where it becomes a bit harder, I think, for the CT side, with the lesser weaponry, lack of utility, only the 1 kit. Primarily the lack of weaponry. It's so hard to move in. Yeah, they have to hit some crazy shots. It's just not happening. 2 for 1 so far. I think Scrunk and Cressy will just look to save, and Na'Vi Jr. will indeed put a stop to things as they string a couple together.
Keep 3 alive. That's important on top of it all. Skrunk's not. Skrunk's sad. And Cressy's now equally sad. Couldn't make it to the M4. Na'Vi. Gostoparov could buy the op. And he'll actually get dropped by Topa. What a nice guy. So the op comes out, even though it is just basically going to be a full save from alternate attacks. Let Cressy see what he can do. Slack's not going to buy anything. He, too, wants the op in full utility with head armor next round. And alternate attacks getting a little aggressive. Trying to push B while fighting mid. I like it. Na'Vi are in no position to let this one slide. Just look how passive they are across the board.
Yeah, not taking any chances, which is really good, right? They're building up a lot of respect here for alternate attacks. which is great. And I think something in this map, sure, but on Vertigo, alternate attacks didn't have. To be frank, generally how these kind of results go is it's not, oh wow, you know, Na'Vi Junior, really really good. And I mean, credit to them, they've certainly done the work, but a lot of it will be unpredictability, and part of that comes from an unpreparedness and a slight overconfidence from the overdog, as it were. I'm not sure if that's actually the term. The favorite, I think, is normally right. It's like the favorite and the underdog. But regardless, you see the point I am trying to make. Bomb goes down. Pistols might stick around, but Cressy, I would imagine, will look to save his Galil once again. Although a Galil, not massive, the head armor and the kit certainly going to save him $1,400 in that sense. So, fourth round for Na'Vi Jr. Looks like they won't see too much resistance either. So, really happy with the way that they've been approaching things here. And once again, very slow and methodical into this round, not giving any semblance of a chance across to alternate attacks.
Oh, they should start pushing long with these pistols now. I mean, look, I'm all for one for playing for exit Scriv, but then there's just too passive. Like, is there, like, I understand Cressy maybe wanting to save the Galil, but the USPs have no reason. You might as well just try to kill someone, because now you're just letting the Na'Vi Junior boys get free money. If I'm being too negative Nancy, Scriv, please tell me. But again, just the little things are slipping away from alternate attacks right now, while Na'Vi are just playing a really simple, safe, passive game, letting Ankar work, letting the op get out into play. Like, Ankar had the spawn with the op this time, he just simply takes it towards long. Slacks with an op of his own. Now is his time and his moment, Scriv.
Needs to be, eh? This is the difference on the previous map was Na'Vi Junior's strong start. Could well be the difference here, Keith, if they play their cards correctly. Could indeed be a strong start for them that makes alternate attacks shake. Another methodical round coming in from Na'Vi Junior. Utility. Ooh, being responded with, though. Nice little bit of nade damage. Quickly onto Orncare, down to 60. But all these M4s, even the Galil, going to find it nice and easy to one-tap those two players who've now been chunked out. Slack still looking to go aggressive, loving his crack angle there towards short, but nothing coming for him. And Na'Vi Jr. really winding the clock down here. 40 seconds, taking a leaf from the book of their bigger brothers, as it were. It could be messy if they're not able to get these frags cleanly and quickly. It could be very messy indeed. Skrunk and Merbit to hold things down. Skrunk on the off angle here, going to spot the barrels, but he can't get a single frag. It's Stefan who comes in with two. That could make all the difference, particularly if he stays alive here. He's moved around. He's got the drop onto Carpaccio. 3 versus 2. Looks like it might just be a 3 versus 1, but no. Gosperodov, he comes in at the right time. There's no one to cut him off. That's a key frag, and it's a 2 versus 2. The retake looking tough, though. A quick flank coming in from Cressy could make life difficult for the T side.
Oh, Gasparov with the first. Slacks, if he doesn't find a pick in the next few moments, definitely gonna have to consider packing it in. He'll find the tag, but not the kill, and backing on out, he'll have to do. He'll hold for the exit. I appreciate a man who loves a good exit, but that'll be that. 5 for Na'Vi Junior. Scriv, this T side of theirs has been calm, patient, and well driven. Alternate attacks. Save the op, so may elect to force around it. Always a chance. But, honestly, big fan of how Na'Vi Junior are playing right now. Kind of a different look than what we're used to seeing from them, right? Typically very aggressive, very out of style, very just fight, 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 and that's what loses them games. But right now, safe defaults, executes, like they're playing a very sound game, which is a cool change from Na'Vi.
Early opener coming in for Slacks, though. Must have been from a quick peek into suicide. Actually looks like short. Good stuff. However, on the other side of things, the B bomb site's somewhat vulnerable. They went for a fast B off the back of their spawns, I think, and they dropped the first player. Bomb site falls. And even though it's a 4-on-4, nothing but pistols, you don't really expect too much. An AK retrieved now as well. I feel like Merbit might look to keep that. The pistol's going to charge in. Nothing for them. Working out, however. So, yeah. Will be Na'Vi Jr. coming in with the 6th and really, really starting to tear through things here. And if they're not careful, alternate attacks, oh, goodness gracious me, might just have the fall from grace in this best of 3. I bigged them up. I called them the favorites for the tournament, but if they can't even make it past the quarterfinals, they're going to have to go away and do a little bit of work in terms of, you know, the mental, in terms of the pressure, perhaps, that has gotten to them here. Work to be done within Dust 2, and if they can't do the work there, the bigger picture, the deeper internal work has to begin. Of course, shout out to Hellcase. 2 codes that you guys can use, as well as the banner down below, to take you directly to probably the best case site out there. We've got Malta V 15. Get yourself some bonus cash, some bonus refill. Really good stuff coming from our primary skin partner.
And a lot of good stuff coming out of Na'Vi as of late. But the double op from alternate attacks could be the difference maker, right? The control factor. The first kills. Krezi about to be challenged, pushing forward. First time aggression from alternate attacks. Awful catwalk in, it will work beautifully for them. They trade 2 for 1. No one else is close from Na'Vi to contest that last player. And that's exactly what we need from alternate attacks, right? Some aggression. Backed up with utility usage. Trades in their favor and they back on out. Now this peak from Slacks is going to keep on moving forward. He will now. Trying to get some good timing, Scriv, but he has to retreat. Mollies and fire. Toss towards ramp in sight. It's getting hot here.
Getting real hot. Getting real spicy. Hot under the collar for sure. Gospodarov going to come out on top against Slacks. That's even things back up. Giving them a nice turn in towards the short plant, but it may well be ill-advised. The remaining 2 CTs coming through from short, so they can't really get into decent post plan. But Capacho in the off-angle stand strong. Trade has to come in now. They're both so low. Orp out for Scrunk, as he's going to try and find the quick one. Topa has only got 6 bullets, but it's enough. Solid headshot to take down Scrunk. 7th round in for Na'Vi Jr. Definitely dicey, definitely close, but they are coming out on top time after time after time. Doesn't matter whether it is easy or hard, they keep stringing the rounds together. Alternate attacks, that was their best chance in a while. They let it slip. Another buy available, Keith. It's starting to get very, very worrisome. They cannot get a foot in the door soon. Na'Vi Jr. will start really, really, really making the 2-0 look doable.
Ooh, yeah, it's shaping up like it, isn't it? 7-1, everyone can get their laughs out. And we can swiftly move on. Even with the ops out from alternate attacks, it's not enough to contain Na'Vi. Even when they start with a 2-for-1 trade, Scriv, it's not enough to contain Na'Vi. Their clutch level has been through the roof. Their poise has been up there. And I love this position from Stefan. He even has a molly, so look for him to drop that as soon as he hears these nades getting tossed and bouncing off the wall. I don't think he'll miss a beat. And a great timed smoke. And here they come. Stefan, no time for his molly. He'll face Bits. What a trade. And now it's all on Scrunk. One more, and that should be the round, but he can't do it. Retake City again for alternate attacks on this B site, and they only have flashes to do so, Scriv.
Moving in, slow but sure. Gospodov up close, no scoping with the AWP. Meanwhile, it's a 1v1, but he's not missing. Again, a close clutch situation, but Gospodov on top of things. Cool, calm, and collected. As he plays it very well indeed. Very well indeed. And the 8th coming in for Na'Vi Jr. off the back of it. Alternate attacks again, cannot catch a break. And they don't quite have enough to buy up comfortably as a squad. Cressy, Stefan, a bit too poor. So timeout being taken here, probably to figure out what they want to do in this round and then figure out what the hell is going wrong. Because they need to figure it out soon. They've already won the half. More than this, and you really start to worry. Really, really start to worry for alternate attacks. And the thing is as well, it's like they need to get a foot in the door and stay there for a while. Need to string a good number of rounds together before they, you know, drop another, as it were.
Probably discussing what has worked so far, and there hasn't been a lot from alternate attacks that's worked, but the one thing that they tried that I really appreciated, and it did somewhat get the job done, at least in the early round, was that catwalk aggression, decisiveness, togetherness, good flashbangs, well-timed peaks to get the trades. What have they been neglecting across the map? Well, long control is free for alternate attacks. Na'Vi Jr. haven't really been pressed to go there. They've been doing a lot of defaults. Defaults mean late cat control, like early mid control, late into deep CT mid. So alternate attacks have been given room to take map control early and punish these players trying to work their default. They just haven't been able to find the timing or spacing to do so. So I hope long becomes a staple for that solo long player while this round will get cleared up, to kind of apply pressure, maybe try to take that 1v1, take a risk against that player, and start to stack a bit more towards mid and catwalk, because those have been really hot zones.
Nice and easy cleanup in this round for Na'Vi Jr., so no sweat in the anti-ecos, anti-force buys. Pretty solid stuff. Alternate attacks. Will they perhaps heed some of your advice, Keith? Will they have come up with some ideas of their own? Whatever it is, it needs to work. Double digits on the horizon for Na'Vi Jr. very early on into this first half. We shall take a look. Double up setup could be the difference maker. That could be the thing that turns things around, but not looking too likely. Bit just charging up short, able to get away with one. Cressy only good for one as well. I don't know, man. The fact that Bit just kind of swings in. I don't think there was a flash, unless he flashed himself, but he just claps slacks. And it's all a distraction. This isn't even the main play, and they brought it into a 4 versus 2. The bomb goes down on B in just a second. Players jumping in front of each other. If that's not going to tell you, I don't know what will. Topa from the side picks up 2, and it's not even communicated properly. Wild. Alternate attacks are a mess. Na'Vi Jr. hit 10, and they look to maybe even get 11 off the back of that round. Really, really, really shocking stuff from alternate attacks here. Oh. Looking good. Moving in. Thieves. Trying to maybe find some heads here. Gospodov, though, opening up once again on the AWP. Looking so clean. Stefan back of the site with the dig. Meanwhile, solid as you like. Cressy also coming in with one, but it looks like they're cleaning things up. He says 2v2 here, Keith. This is not looking too good at all. I'm going to go down. Gospodov once again, just so confident, taking the early fights. Maybe a bit 1v2. Certainly doable with this AK that he's retrieved, but surely not feeling too confident here. Have to see what the deal is. Slowly but surely considering it, thinking about it, but he against his better judgment, or with his better judgment, I should say, looking to save. Navi Jr. get up to 11.
I'm scared to talk, Script.
You're good, bro.
We're okay? Hopefully my mic's okay. And if it is, I do want to strike home the point of how impressed I am with Navi. Really sound Counter-Strike. They have been playing fundamentally well, and this is what I've been waiting for. Oh, the slacks.
Wow.
He elects to retreat. Trezzy tries to back him up, and then it's just awkward city, and they are getting run over. And that is exactly what I'm talking about with Navi, right? That entry power, the simple start to rounds that snowball into more, capitalizing on mistakes from alternate attacks, taking the map control that is given to them. They are playing really clean, perfect to a TCS, and I am all about it. So impressed I can't even explain it.
Insane. Absolutely insane. I mean, like, Navi Jr., get me wrong, are looking really good, okay? But at the same time, alternate attacks are just on top of each other, making some crazy mistakes. I don't know what to say. I think there is definitely some internal stuff going on here. Navi Jr. definitely work gone in, and it's paying off. But alternate attacks are just making, like, just look so weird. Just looks so weird, and I think there is a bit of tilt, miscommunication in a lot of places. The comms probably not as clean as they're just getting annoyed, and, you know, instead of communicating information cleanly or whatever they're going to go for, they're probably like, oh, I can't believe he's just headshot me. What's going on? And then they'll feed the information, you know, so a little it's just a mess. It is just a mess. I hate to be super negative about it, but, like, they're so messy, really are. And I feel like they know it, you know. It's definitely being internalized properly, and a lot of these players maybe don't want to point a finger or anything like that, but having their own issues they're trying to deal with on the fly, as well as playing the game, as well as getting beaten. It's hard because, you know, we don't want to harp on teams and things like that, but there's a lot of immediately obvious problems going on. Merbik caught out, gonna get dropped as another round looks set to go the way of Navi Jr. Bit not missing. Moving up, 5v3. And alternate attacks once again on the back foot with a minute left.
Yeah, just an off day for alternate attacks. Navi playing just some really good Counter-Strike. Alternate attacks just getting banged out like that. Like, what does Slacks do, right? You have fire, flashes, and your teammates are unable to support you because of the positions they're in. Like, it's just so brutal to play against Navi Jr. right now. You are constantly pressured, swarmed, and in trouble. It has been really impressive to watch Navi play. And it's not even like alternate attacks are playing bad per se. It's just they're missing the mark on a lot of aspects, and Navi are capitalizing across the board from Vertigo to here. And auto snipers are probably going to be bought up here from Navi. Yeah, more than one. Why not? It is round 15. You have a chance to 14-1. I feel like they've earned this moment.
Okay, here we go. Bit of aggression coming in. Orncare somewhat ready. But it does depend. Is there a flash available? There isn't. Neither player wants to push in. Orncare going to flash over the top. for his players coming through lower tunnels. Looking good here as he finds the head of Slacks. Beautifully read. Bit in lower tons as well, able to get the second. 5v3, just like that once again. As they will most likely get the 14th and have a pretty incredible first half here. Oh, missed AWP shot. Getting the leg through the door, though. Scrunk is still left low. So he doesn't get away completely unscathed, Keith. It's still looking dire for alternate attacks. Merbit in on the A-bomb site to hold things down from short. But then they're not committing to it. They're just kind of baiting things out. Merbit looking to get aggressive and be the hero. However, there's no one around for him to impress, to show his heroics too.
And it's a shame. 14, that's what we're staring the barrel down. It's Stefan with a UMP to lock down B. Not the most ideal weapon, but he's making it work. He's gotten 2. Oh, looks away right when Pacho comes out. Merbit actually gets tagged by the Pacho. 1 bullet and make it a headshot. 14 for Navi Jr., excuse me. And what is a impeccable, and I mean impeccable, T-side on Dust 2. From their defaults, getting control and able to trade out, to their executes, everything Navi Jr. we're doing, we're just working out beautifully. They didn't make it easy at all for the alternate attack side. Whenever they wanted a peeker fight, there's a molly, flash, some sort of pain in the side to alternate attacks that was just hard to work around. And you're not getting peeked by 1 Navi member typically. You're getting peeked by 2. So that is just a brutal and such a deadly thing to deal with when you're on the side of alternate attacks.
Well, Stefan with the rare animation. Gonna need to hit that same level of luck all the way through this second half. Flash coming out. No one at short just yet. They will peek into bit, and he is certainly confident after his first half, and he just continues where he left off. 2 quickies. Oh, third coming in, nice and crisp. He does go down, but he's traded easily, and they are just walking straight into the fights right now. Topa to drop to 15th for Navi Jr. and alternate attacks. They've just mentally checked out, haven't they? They're so annoyed, and they're just throwing themselves at it. Just not on the same level at the moment, spamming away with the pistols, hoping for the best. Kind of sums up the way I think things have gone in the past 6 to 7 rounds for sure. They have just mentally dropped off a cliff.
Yeah, you lose your map pick and you get into situations where you think you should be doing better than you are, and yeah, mentally tricked out's a really good way to put it. They'll buy up what they can, but this could be Navi taking it across the line with their M4s and their rifles. Dospadorov pushing with a USP and turn back on Scrunk. The trades will come in. Not bad for alternate attacks, but 2 players dropping CT means mid is locked down now. Alternate attacks going to reconsider their line of approach here. It's just going to take 1 more pick to make this doable, though, Scriv.
True. Oh, that's not going to be it. Oh, maybe it can't get the trade either. And Bit, the luckiest son of a gun, as Topa finds Slacks. It's all onto Merbit, 1v3. If there's anyone that can do it on this alternate attack side, certainly him, but lands the tag, left out in the open. Bit will drop him, and that'll be the 16-1, 2-0 in the end from Navi Jr. Colour me surprised. I could certainly see them after the first map taking that one, just due to being in their heads, but